Ahead on American Sunrise, on the loose, still no suspect arrested in the Charlie Kirk assassination this morning. The FBI releasing new photos and video of who is believed to be the suspect. What other details have they uncovered about the weapon? We will have the very latest. Plus, ugly hate after MSNBC fired analyst Matthew Dowd for his despicable remarks during their coverage of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Will the rest of the mainstream media now start to look in the mirror? We're not holding our breath, but we will explore. And keeping the faith. What can God's word teach us about how to stay strong in dark and tragic times? The Bible history guy, Jim Mosley, is going to be here to break that down. We're going to have those stories and more as American Sunrise concludes the week, and we start right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C., and Terrence Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Gina. Morning. T-Bates.
Dr. Gina and David, good morning. So look, there's new information out this morning related to the manhunt, the ongoing manhunt for the person accused of killing Charlie Kirk. This is surveillance video the FBI released, and it basically shows, and you'll see this momentarily, the suspect literally running across the roof of this building and then eventually jumping from the roof onto the ground and getting away. You can see it all kind of going in here, and there he is. You can see him kind of scaling down the wall, and eventually he's going to jump down onto the grass and then run away from the crime scene. So this is new video out. The FBI also out with some pictures of the suspect. So now we at least have a face to go with this. There's the picture right there. Obviously asking for the public's help. There's a big reward out, and hopefully someone recognizes this person and can help track him down. In the meantime, guys, Utah Governor Spencer Cox also warning about disinformation that's out there.
For those people who are spending so much time on social media, I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and to spend a little more time with our families.
And Dr. Gina, the sooner police and the feds and all those involved catch this alleged shooter, hopefully the sooner we'll all get more answers as to why, and hopefully there will be some peace of mind knowing that he's behind bars.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I felt, better once I saw this footage and that they really are on to someone and that it looks like they might actually catch someone. It really pivoted my grief in a way, or at least maybe my anger in a way, because if this guy was going to get away with this, I just didn't know how mentally we would all handle that. That would have just been too much, and that he's still, I realize he's still on the run. It's not like we have him, but it seems like they're closing in on him. And I can't imagine they don't ultimately catch him soon, David. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Gina, listen, you and I track a lot. I'm on the other side of this. I was angrier after I saw that press conference last night, like really, really angry. And look, there's been a lot of emotions this week, as we all know. And I'm a pretty jovial guy, but I'm pretty ticked this morning. And there's a lot of reasons. Why? And I'll be brief. Be brief. But let me just quickly say two quick things. No questions at all They left the podium and didn't take questions. He says, the governor says there's disinformation out there. Okay, like what? Let me ask a question about it. Oh, you didn't tell us what the disinformation is. So you're going to therefore have more of that out there, more speculation. Why don't you shoot some of it down? How about you answer a question or two? I understand there's a lot many answers at this point, but if you say there's disinformation, then what are you talking about? Then they have Kash Patel, the FBI director, go over there, and he stands there to the side, doesn't ever come to the microphone. He's the leader of the FBI. Why is he not at the podium speaking? It was pathetic. And then last thing, on that video, great, we have the video, and now all of a sudden we see the shooter going down there. And then where do they stop it? They stop it where he's at a tree. He's still in the video. He's at a tree. That's it, a minute 38 of video. And what happens after that? Could we ask a question about that? What happens after a minute 38? Did he get in a car? Did he run off? We never see it. We were left with lots of questions about, well, then what happened once he was at the tree? Could we see a little bit more video? Guys, I was ticked off.
I think those are all super legitimate questions, David, and I appreciate them. And I maybe misspoke too. I didn't mean that I felt better after the press conference. I actually didn't see the press conference last night. I had a client in town, but I did feel better once they started releasing pictures of the guy, which was initially, I think, yesterday morning. All right, let's get to today's Bible verses from John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Well, President Trump announced that he would be giving Turning Point USA founder and RAV's own Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously. Listen.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
For more, let's bring in the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News, Alex Marlow. Alex, thank you for being with us today. Alex, first I just want to let you speak to your memories of Charlie. Good morning. Seems like Alex's sound is off a little bit. David, I want to give you a chance while we're waiting for them to adjust things to go back to, I think those questions you asked are so legit. In fact, I thought how perfect that we're having Alex Marlow, because those are the kinds of questions that Breitbart would ask exactly. You're such a veteran of this business. It does seem ridiculous that they just categorically reject all things online. We're just not supposed to go online now. Little Americans, go sit in your spots and wait for us to tell you what you think. Is that kind of how you're feeling?
Well, good morning, guys. Sorry.
Here we got Alex. We'll come back to that.
That was my bad.
Good morning, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was my bad. I apologize. And good morning to Terrence, Dr. Gina, and David. First of all, let me start by thanking David for that, because I want to give it 24 more hours before I start yelling. But this is a disgrace that we just nearly lost President Trump a year ago because a guy shot him from a roof. We didn't secure the roof for my friend Charlie. No one looked. No one bothered to see if there's any gunmen sitting there on the roof waiting to kill one of our most important warriors. And I didn't want to go there quite yet, but now that we don't have the guy days later, it's hard not to. And what was the governor smiling about in that press conference? Why did he have a grin in his face?
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Well, what is going on here? And the FBI director, who I support greatly, I just wrote a book that you guys were kind enough to promote, where I say he could be our Elliot Ness. Now's the time, Kash. This is a big moment here. We're rooting for you. We believe in you, but we got to bring him home now. And then there needs to be something. My friend got executed in public for free speech 3 days ago. A guy who I met as a teenager. and offered his first opportunity to write at Breitbart News. And he took that and he turned that into an empire for media and activism where he inspired millions of people who are going to be remembering him for centuries, probably, at a minimum, decades, at a minimum. An incredible legacy. And we can't find his killer. We have video of him. No one's identified who he is. It's crazy to me. It's completely crazy to me that we don't know where this guy is or who he is. And we don't know what kind of a network he has. We don't know what country he's from. We don't know anything about this guy at all at this point. It is I'm hoping I eat these words in a couple hours. And I think
hey, guys, we want to interrupt. Alex, I apologize, but President Trump saying that a suspect is now in custody. Let's listen in. This is just in.
Breaking news from Real America's Voice.
Just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Any updates on the suspect?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we'll continue our conversation, but it sounds like the breaking news now, President Trump saying that he believes law enforcement do now have the suspect in custody, which is, of course, a huge break in this case. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, huge news. And we need to get to the bottom of who he is, if he had a network, what he came from. And then, of course, we need to unpack some of those security failures that were, there's going to be a lot of shared blame here, but we need a full accounting of it. But, you know, we're all going through our Kubler-Ross stages of grief here, and one of them is anger, and that's something that is, I think, very legitimate, and it's a grieving process that we're going to have as a movement, as a nation. I know Charlie was a colleague for you guys on Real America's Voice, so we're all going to have some of that. So if they got him, they got him, and again, but it's important to note that the expectation in this country in an era where we have 24/7 video surveillance, that you catch guys like this pretty quick.
Yeah, what I was saying at the top, by the way, I mean, obviously, and I was about to do the disclaimer, but now we have this news. The disclaimer is simply like, I'm not saying they're not working hard to try and find them, obviously. That's obvious. I was just talking about the way, the PR aspect of it. When you send Kash Patel out to Utah, or he goes out there himself, and Dan Bongino, and then he doesn't come to the microphone. That just seemed like an unforced error. I will say this, Alex, let me ask you about this, because the actual quote from President Trump is, I think, so not that we know, I think, then he says, with a high degree of certainty, we have him. Do you have him or not? That's an interesting way to phrase something like that. And we haven't, I'm still looking, I'm searching official sites here to make sure, or to see if we have anything official. What does that mean exactly, Alex? And I think the answer will be, we're not quite sure.
It's very hard to know. And that's where I feel like, again, I wanted to, if you weren't so passionate and touching a nerve with me, David, I was prepared to kind of wait a day but it's really tough considering that we're all under surveillance all the time. There's so many footage of everyone online. Everyone's got something they don't want online. And I can't think of, I assiduously avoid posting stuff that I'm not certain I want out there. And there's still all this stuff. I think that's the era we're in. And then we got footage of the guys on the roof and we can't get them. It's bizarre that it's taken 3 days in this moment. So hopefully that's all it was. Hopefully that's all it was, or I guess 2.5 days. But it's it is, if they got him, that'll be incredible. But then there's still a lot of accounting that needs to take place for how this got to be where it was. Charlie is a giant in this movement. He was a leader in activism. He was a leader in broadcasting. He was a connector of people. He was a singular figure in my space, in our space, the one that we all share together. He can't be replaced by an individual, but his legacy is going to be so vast because he was so communicative. He was so persuasive. He created so much content and he shared so much with us, and he did this with this relentless optimism. And we need to get justice for him immediately.
Alex, if I may, what do you see the larger impact of this assassination being? Because there are a lot of us who are hurting.
Yes.
There is a segment of society that is pissed off, and I'm sorry, but that's the only way to say it. And there's been talk of this civil war, if you will, that's burgeoning. Do you see it escalating to something like that, be it an armed civil war or otherwise? But there are people who are very angry and who want get back, if you will.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot lower tolerance for some of the nonsense, for lack of a better expression, that we've seen over the last 10 years in this country. I don't think there'll be a civil war. I think that conservatives are law-abiding, and we're the ones who are getting hunted down. So this is, again, with some of the premise of my research, is that it's the left that hates law and order. We love law and order, and we want to retreat to law and order. So you're going to see conservatives dealing with this by going to church, by communing with God, and by arming themselves, by fortifying themselves and protecting their families so that they're prepared, so that they're not sitting ducks when we get hunted down, which we will. They'll continue to do it. You've seen the reactions on the line. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep trying to kill us. So we're going to be more diligent and vigilant in that regard, but we're going to beat them by legal means. That's how we're going to do it. And so I don't predict there's going to be any civil war or anything like that.
I guess I'm sort of obsessed with something you alluded, and over the last couple of days I keep asking this question. We had President Trump almost assassinated from a rooftop. Do we not sweep rooftops as a matter of, I mean, if Gina Loudon, who knows absolutely zero about security, were suddenly put in charge of security, guess what the first thing I would do is? They didn't do that, Alex.
It is not acceptable, and it seems we can give it some time. I don't mean to force you guys into talking about it right now, but I know that it's something I threw out there, but it really is something that we do need an accounting that why that didn't happen. I can't believe it. I can't believe that didn't happen. And there's going to be a lot of shared blame. You got to talk about the university, local law enforcement, but we knew that there was a target on Charlie's back because of what he stood for, his Judeo-Christian values, the way that he was resonating with younger people. When the left tells you who they are, you have to believe them. And they've told us they want to achieve goals by any means necessary. They kept calling us all Nazis and Hitler and fascists. They continue to lie and smear Charlie, and his body's not even cold yet. And it just shows you that, of course, they want him dead. They've been trying to kill Trump. They tried to kill Steve Scalise. They tried to kill the whole congressional baseball team. They attack Rand Paul. They post all of our addresses online, those of us who are prominent conservatives, to get us doxxed and swatted all the time. It's been nonstop for 10 years. And think about all the anonymous Christians who've been targeted over the years, firebombing, the crisis pregnancy centers that we've documented, Breitbart, 100 instances of those over the last decade or so, maybe more. Of course they want to kill us. So why aren't we prepared? We need to be prepared.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm sorry, I'm working sources, guys,
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
and
I mean, we're live on the air, obviously.
Not seeing anything,
I'm
by
going to
the
hold
way.
off for now. I've got a few things. Go ahead.
You go ahead, because we don't have a lot of time left.
No, that's my point. I don't want to
Alex,
go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'll jump in here, Alex.
Alex.
Because the news that we got, again, President Trump somewhat hedging, saying he believes that the suspect in this particular case is now in custody. But I feel like we kind of need some sort of answers, and
right.
we've kind of been touching on it. But whoever, or if there is in fact an arrest, I think the country can't really breathe a sigh of relief until we get some answers. Having someone in custody, that's fine, but we need to know the motive. We need to know who may have been behind this. I think there's still so many unanswered questions that we need answered before we can breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that'll be a great comfort to all of us if we really feel like we understand what the threat is. And I think a lot of my anger today is that we can't start that process. I think it would be a deep comfort to us if we can at least start trying to understand, was there a network? Was this a lone wolf person? What kind of information were they getting that radicalized them? Or was this someone who was a professional and who would have hired this person? What are the networks in place in the area that may have put this radical person who's willing to commit this heinous act on that roof? There's so much that is unanswered, and it is a huge distraction when I love that we've had so many tributes to Charlie, and we will, but there is this looming thing that this person's at large, and the sooner that comes to a close and we can begin unpacking that mystery, I think it'll help us focus on Charlie's long-lasting legacy.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
Alex, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us. I guess we're going to come back. Looks like David Brody is chomping at the bit to say something. We'll be back with whatever it is David Brody has to say and more of our breaking news coverage. President Trump claiming a suspect is in custody for the Charlie Kirk assassination. We'll tell you more in just a moment.